The fresh smell of Corona in the air.
점점 맛있는 게 잘.
So much food. So got together with my father's friend, cooked up some fried chicken as well as tacos for all of us. My parents are going back, but I'm going to be taking the subway. It's rush hour right now, but there are not that many people. I think people are generally just restricting themselves, even though there isn't a lockdown that's mandatory, just because it's for their own safety. Everybody is wearing a mask, and they're also announcing on the intercom that everybody should be wearing a mask. I think one of the biggest difference in policies between America and Korea is that the government actively promotes everybody to wear masks here, whereas America is telling everybody not to wear it because there's a shortage of them. I have one station to go on this, and then I'm gonna get on line number 2, which is probably like the busiest line. Subway showing guidelines on how to act. All these people, and I don't see a single person without a mask. It's pretty fascinating. I expect at least one person out of 100 not to wear it, but everybody is wearing it. That's a rare sight. Okay, just as I spoke to early, there's one person that's not wearing a mask. I heard there's mask shortages, but there's masks everywhere. It's $3. These ones that aren't medical are $1. Oh, and actually these ones that are more for surgical are about $8 for $8. So masks are actually readily available. I saw it at the other station as well. They're selling it slightly more than what you would get it at the pharmacy. The pharmacy charges, I think, about half of that price. But some of the reports were telling me that they're charging almost 3-4 times the price. But I mean, in reality, it's not that expensive. So I can see why everybody is wearing masks. You see that? Everybody is wearing masks. So I think this is one of the reasons why transmission rates are a lot less, even though there isn't a forced lockdown. Because although masks might not completely prevent you from catching it, it's definitely going to prevent a lot of the spreading of it. So I gotta say, I haven't seen the subway on line number 2 this empty during rush hour. So I think this is one of the reasons why I haven't heard too many reports of people catching the virus in the subway. Although I'm a bit of a skeptic and I don't know how you can confirm that either. But it seems most of the people are catching it definitely at work or at religious events or at public gatherings. So I still have yet to hear a report of someone just saying, I think I randomly caught it in the subway. That being said, being that this is one of the most busiest subway stations, Hongdae University Station, I'm very surprised there aren't as many people. And there's usually people loitering around and standing around on the sides waiting for people to meet and hang out. I don't see any of that. People are just going about doing their stuff. Ooh, more masks. One thing I have to say is, even if this doesn't help me not catch the virus, it's definitely helping work out my lung capacity because it's so hard to breathe in these masks. I guess that means it's working. Oh wow. Oh, I saw one person. Ooh, 2 people. 3 people. Actually, now I'm seeing actually a lot of people without masks. That's the most I've seen in a row. One thing I will say though is, it sort of defeats the purpose when everybody is wearing masks outside. But if you look inside, in the restaurants and such, they don't have masks on for obvious reasons. That's probably where you're at the most danger. So I know some people are going to be arguing, it completely defeats the purpose. But that being said, someone like me that's just transitioning from one area to another, I do feel safer that people are wearing masks around me. So for whatever reason, if they do cough or they unknowingly have the virus and not have any symptoms, which is the case, their little droplets aren't going into my face. And luckily, I also wear huge glasses, which are going to prevent a lot of the droplets from going into my eyes. Although, I know, in confined spaces, it's not 100% protection, but it certainly helps. Definitely doesn't hurt. So this is a Lime Friend store. Usually you'll see tourists and people lined up to take pictures in front of that guy. Nobody. And guys, this is prime time. This is rush hour. This is when people get off work. The students are getting off school. This is where they meet to hang out and chill. But it's relatively barren. So I'm almost like about 3 minutes away from the main subway area, walking to my aunt's place. Although it's relatively close to Hongik University Station in that neighborhood, it's a lot quieter here. There's barely anybody, and everybody I'm walking by also has masks. Alright guys, another day, but the same vlog. I'm actually noticing quite a lot of people now around this local area that aren't wearing masks this morning, which is strange. As you may have already noticed, I'm not wearing a mask. That's because I forgot it, but I don't want to head back 3 minutes for it because I think I can just get one at the subway. Okay, I got one of these celebrity masks. They say it's probably not the best for preventing bacteria from getting in, but honestly, nothing is gonna completely stop it anyways. The main thing though is I don't want to spread it to other people. And you know, like the main droplets that are probably in the air, that'll definitely catch it. And number 3, and probably the most important thing, I can avoid the stairs. And I literally saw some stores that won't even let me go in unless I'm wearing a mask here. 죄송합니다. So those ladies in the back, it says Corona Defense. So I'm not sure if they're volunteers or government officials, but they go around and they clean like the handrails here and such, and they sanitize all the public transportation areas. So I feel a lot safer with that. I also noticed that they are also going around handing out businesses hand sanitizers to put at their place of business. So everyone has a hand sanitizer when they enter it, especially in areas like restaurants. Someone is selling masks on the subway. That's very clever. They're letting the escalator do the work by holding the rags on the sides of the walls there. I would have been happy with them just taking care of the handrails, but they're going to lengths to clean the subway.
다시 한번 하겠습니다. MJ 성착시 이제는 끝납니다. Okay, so what's happening there is there's recently been a huge controversy that's sort of taken a sideshow to the coronavirus, but a big event nonetheless, where there was a man convicted of committing crimes against underage women and exploiting them on the internet. And it's basically called the Telegram scandal. So even during this time, they're all wearing masks and protesting that issue here. It's definitely something that needs to be heard even at this time. So life proceeds and hopefully something gets done about it. Okay, people around here, even though the cafe is outside, don't really have their masks on. As you can see, the lockdown, there is no lockdown. Nothing is mandatory. It's just sort of up to your own best judgment, discretion, ability to take risk determines whether or not you're gonna wear a mask, stay indoors, do whatever. So this is the main office area in Gwanghwamun. It's a little past lunchtime, but what I'm seeing is that people are relatively going about their lives. They're all pretty calm, collected, no panic. I think that's what sort of impresses me and why I feel relatively safe here. Everyone is wearing masks, however, so they are taking precautions, but no panic. Life as usual. You know, honestly, right about this time, most people are wearing masks anyways, even if it wasn't for the coronavirus, because it's smog season. One thing that's ironic, however, is that because of the coronavirus, there isn't much smog because a lot of the factories have closed down here, as well as the production in China. So a lot of the smog that's coming from over there and that's emitting from over here as well as people just traveling less because the roads are pretty empty, has made it so that the air is really not that bad. Usually I say Korea is worse than Bangkok, but this year I think Korea is going to be better than Bangkok. Although I imagine Bangkok is better than Korea right now. So this looks like a core hotel. Notice everybody lining up with masks, greeting the chairman. Honestly, I feel that this is maybe gonna be a story about masks, because nothing else is sort of out of the ordinary here in Seoul. And I think it speaks volumes. Masks. It doesn't seem like it's that big of a deal. It probably isn't. I mean, to a lot of people, it just seems like it's vain. It's not gonna protect you from 100%. But I think what it states is that even though it's not 100% guaranteed to protect you, people here are doing, you know, that extra 2-3% to just sort of help out, pitch in, not sit there and argue with other people about the validity of it, make it a political issue. And they're just pitching in and doing what they can. Alright guys, I'm grabbing not coffee but iced tea here at Edia Coffee. It's like a big chain. And as you can see, you can't have your mask on. So this is the preferred lazy person's way of keeping it off while you eat. Oh yeah, have to take it off. So it's almost time for me to meet my friend to film her little thing that I'm helping her out with. So I'll check back with you after the shooting. Alright guys, I just finished up the shoot. Heading back to Hongdae. The trains are pretty full, but not as full as how rush hour is usually in Korea. So although there's more people than maybe a month ago, again, not that many people. Seems that Brown is also lonely again today. Well, pretty much a repeat of everything else. Nothing's changed over the last day, but this is how it is in Korea. Hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you think about this vlog, if you want more daily updates, or if this is enough of the routine life in Korea, because the lockdown hasn't really affected much other than people just collectively trying to do their part to social distance themselves and wear masks to possibly prevent spreading the virus if unknowingly they have it and they're asymptomatic. Whatever the case, hope you guys stay healthy, and I'll see you guys next week for more vlogs about living and traveling in Asia. You know what? I'm heading home back from Seoul, and I'm noticing the most crowds in the subway. And it's strange because it's the old folks that are crowding this place up, not the young folks that need to go out and actually work. I know what they're doing most likely is heading out to Yeongbu, which is a popular hiking site here on the outskirts of Seoul, because my home is on the way there. So if the old folks aren't even concerned. Arrived here at my parents' place out in the countryside where I'm safe again. And on the trip, I've actually gotten a lot of emergency alerts, and I have no cellular connection, so I don't know how they do it. I think it's sort of like working as Amber Alerts do. And basically they're saying that, you know, it's like the 12th confirmed case in this neighborhood or whatnot, to, you know, social distance yourself today, etc. So, you know, I made this video about the mass situation here in Korea, which I think is the most visual aspect of it. But something that is definitely underrated is the social distancing that people are just taking upon themselves to do. There aren't any particular legislations forcing of closing of businesses per se, but as you saw, the streets are relatively sparse
I mean, you are looking at one of the most populated metropolitan areas in the world, and it looks like the suburbs. So, keep watching my videos. You'll see some of the stuff that I shot before all this corona happened, and you will see how much of a difference it is between all the activity and excitement of Seoul and what it is right now. And it's becoming spring, so people obviously want to go out and experience that. I know you guys are all depressed. You're telling me that the lockdown's taking place in your place, like Germany or America or whatnot. But I think if you pull through it, you'll see better days. I also see people already venturing out more often here in Korea because it's relatively under control. And I hope in another month or two, you guys are in the same position.